I am ready whenever you jump.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores.
Joe,
What?
Rolling.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1325, June 13th, 2024, the final day of the unheralded 1956 heat wave when it hit 100 degrees on June 13th, 1956. And in 1969, it was as chilly as 37 degrees. The swimming season is here. I hope you're using the products from Aquaside, a White Bear Lake company that's been helping people maintain Great Lake shores for more than 60 years with a complete line of lake and pond control products. Gets rid of the weeds, gets rid of the algae, gets rid of the junk that the kids are freaked out about. The products are easy to use. They work quickly. They're vetted by both the EPA and DNR. There's no need to let weeds overtake your lake or pond this summer. Call Aquaside. They'll help you identify your weed problem. Your place will look great all summer long. Call Aquaside at 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I think we should have a daily Mary Moriarty thought. And here's Josh's.
In the same vein as in an Ilhan Omar update?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Mary believes there is no crime, then why is she needed?
Oh, my God. That's a great point.
What money might we be able to save by just eliminating her office? That's today's Mary Moriarty thought. Here's today's Mary Moriarty thought.
Highly produced.
Yeah. Now, a couple climate things I just want to get out of the way because I thought of an axiom.
Wait. Because we want alliteration. Today's Mary Moriarty musing? You got to go with the M. You don't like that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Swing and a miss.
Sorry.
All right, Herb.
I thought of an axiom. Is it an axiom?
I don't even know what that means. Is it a circle? Is it
the mystery cannot be brought about until we're immobilized.
The mystery cannot be brought about until we are immobilized.
It's not a bromide. It might be an axiom. By that I mean one of the reasons the climate hysterians keep up their nonsense is because
axiom.
A statement or proposition which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evidently true.
Okay, I think it's an axiom. The mystery cannot be brought about until we can't get anywhere. Because if we can't get anywhere, there goes a big chunk of the mystery's goal, which is to eliminate capitalism. If we can't drive, we can't go to the job. You
it's
don't
too
like
bulky.
I
like where you're going here. You just need to clean it up, make it better.
Okay, then I'll go back to my opening statement. The mystery cannot be brought about until we are immobilized.
That's perfect.
All right.
That's perfect. And we see that happening all the time. See, what I think they're doing is they're trying more and more every day to get us dependent on the government.
And these news broadcasters that make millions of dollars a year pretending they're journalists, like this David Muir, is he just a useful idiot? Do you think he wants to bring about the end to Western civilization? Because he'll lead the news tonight with Miami rainfall, guarantee it. And the implication, of course, if it's not said outright, the implication is that, well, this is caused by climate change, these heavy rains in Miami. So, I'm your San Swen guy.
Yeah, but
hold on a second.
Let me just chime in with my favorite piece of video from Florida.
I know the one you're talking about.
Is the guy walking next to the white pickup.
The water's up to about his ankles.
It's up to his waist.
Yeah.
And he has an umbrella.
Oh, yeah. My favorite is the CNN gal pretending to be canoeing. The guys are walking behind her in ankle deep water. Yes, Ken.
You have to remember David Muir is just a beautiful face with a mouth that speaks.
Yeah,
he's not choosing any stories. He's just reading what's put in front. He's the Ron Burgundy of
Well, they're buying.
ABC.
Then they're buying the ABC's buying the template. So is CBS and NBC. They're all buying the template.
Well, in my household, David Muir is the beautiful David Muir,
But he's a moron.
but he looks really bad the last year. It was commented on.
Well, then maybe it's beginning to dawn on him what role he's playing in bringing about the end of the world.
But that haircut, you could land a helicopter on that haircut.
Yeah.
So 13 inches of rain in Miami yesterday and terrible flooding. Certainly I, the mayor of Garage Logic, would not deny that that's problematic.
Okay.
But no state has been more environmentally and ecologically destroyed than Florida. Novelists have become rich writing novels about the corruption of, slip me this kind of money and we'll get you your building permit.
Right.
They've ruined the state. I mean that seriously. It's a shame. But, 200 years ago, if you got 13 inches of rain, A, nobody would have been there. And B, it all would have gone into the creeks and the Everglades and the ocean. And it wouldn't have been a big problem. Today, it's going into your grandma Nellie's basement because she bought her winter home in Florida. So it's a completely different deal. But in any event, the biggest one-day rainstorm in Miami, as measured at the Miami International Airport, which records only go back, by the way, to 1948 at the airport. But in 1979, on April 25th, 1979, 14.85 inches of rain.
14?
That's almost 15 inches of rain.
I'd call it 15.
That's 2 inches more than what you're going to be told about tonight on the nightly news, no matter which station you watch. And you have to keep in mind that it's all exacerbated by the overwhelming development, the overwhelming application of impervious surfaces. And what else? I have every record for Miami. I won't go through them.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Read them
Thank you
all.
for that.
Read all
Why?
4 pages.
Don't
I mean, I
Jesus.
have every year, but there's no need to do it. I've taken you back 45 years, and that should be enough for you. And if you don't like it, that's too bad.
All right. Exacerbated.
Exacerbated.
When's the last time you tried that one, Matt?
Last Friday.
Now I'm going to take you to a piece from Scientific Tech Daily. So this came to me via an emailer recommending it. And the headline of the piece is Challenging Modern Climate Narratives. And what's developed here, according to, not me, not your lowly podcast hosts, not me. This is according to the Department of Geosciences and Natural Resource Management at the University of Copenhagen.
Okay.
Is that pretty well established?
Street creds.
What they found is the forgotten aerial photos from a whaler in 1937 that shows East Antarctica's ice has been stable and has even grown since 1937. Now, you're told on the nightly news that everything's melting and we're doomed.
Right.
The ice is growing. Extreme weather, melting glaciers, and rising sea levels are all indicators that the climate and the world's ice masses are in a critical state. However, a new study from the Department of Geosciences and Natural Resource Management at the University of Copenhagen reveals a positive anomaly. Using hundreds of old aerial photographs dating back to 1937, combined with modern computer technology, researchers have tracked the evolution of glaciers in East Antarctica. This area, which spans approximately 2,000 kilometers of coastline, contains as much ice as the entire Greenland ice sheet. By comparing the historical aerial photos with modern satellite data, researchers determined the glacier's movement and changes in size, revealing that the ice has not only remained stable, but has grown over the last 85 years, partly due to increased snowfall. Now, This
Wait
is
a
the
minute.
kind of news that should be cheered. This is healthy,
Yeah.
good news.
This is mother nature.
But I mean, how many conventional news gathering institutions are even going to pick this up? This is from a site I've never heard of before, .sci-tech daily. But it's not your evil white man podcast host telling you this. It's the University of Copenhagen, and it's just fantastic. We're not in trouble with the ice sheet.
Well, you said it's good news. It's good news if you're pro iceberg.
I like an iceberg.
What if you're anti iceberg?
Well, then it's bad news.
Then it's bad news for you.
How can you be
Who cares either way? I mean, look at the monitor. Who goes down there?
That's right.
There's nobody down there.
That's
There's a
right.
couple
Down there.
penguins down there. Who gives a rat's ass either way?
We
I'd
constantly
like to have
hear
a globe.
We constantly hear about climate change and new melt records. So it's refreshing to observe an area of glaciers that has remained stable for almost a century, said PhD student Mads Domgaard, the study's first author. Okay, and this is a 25-page story, and it's wonderful. I just thought I'd bring that to your attention.
Got it.
It's positive, and it's Positive Thursday.
Positive Thursday.
Thank you for that, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. Climate narratives. Forgotten 1937 aerial photos expose Antarctic anomaly. How about they expose a lie?
Mm-hmm.
How about the photos expose that you're being lied to? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I might as well stay with the climate and then we'll move on to other things. And there's much to move on to. Hi, how are you, everybody?
Okay, everybody. The airport is booming, man.
I don't care.
It's just people are flying.
Why?
everywhere.
Where are they going?
I would suggest if you're going somewhere this afternoon to get to the airport, minimum
A lot of good
3
this will
hours
do
before.
people on a podcast.
Well,
Can I
don't
ask you
remember
a-
it for next time?
Serious question. What was the comparison between Greenland and Antarctica again? I don't understand why we're comparing two opposite sides of the globe.
That the Antarctic has more ice than Greenland. Or, yeah. Don't make me read this whole thing over again. I don't know where I said that. Okay, here it is. Using hundreds of old aerial photographs dating back to 1937, combined with modern computer technology, researchers have tracked the evolution of glaciers in East Antarctica. This area, which spans approximately 2,000 kilometers of coastline, contains as much ice as the entire Greenland ice sheet.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
That makes sense to me. I should have been paying closer attention, Mayor. I apologize.
I accept your apology. And now let's turn to local news. We have a new a Bureau of the Government. They're going to map the Twin Cities' hottest neighborhoods.
Well, I
What do you
guarantee
mean by
it's,
hot?
it's going to be Penn and Lowry or Lindale and Dowling or Broadway and Lindale.
Hennepin and Ramsey counties have been chosen because I guess people were fighting for the chance. Hennepin and Ramsey counties have been chosen to take part in the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's 2024 Urban Heat Island Mapping Campaign.
I knew that term was going to come up.
Wow.
Heat Island. I love that term.
The study measures or maps the hottest neighborhoods in 14 U.S. communities. The project focuses on urban heat islands, which are urban areas where the temperature can be significantly higher due to larger areas of concrete and other surfaces that radiate heat, along with a less tree canopy, because Black people cannot plant trees. They're forbidden.
They don't know how.
White people do not allow Black people
That's
to
what
plant
it is.
trees. Yeah. Less tree canopy and green space to mitigate the heat. Officials said the data will help communities come up with solutions. Well, plant some trees, I guess. Now, what I want to know is, are you going to do this for winter weather?
Good
In other words,
question.
what's the point of this?
Right.
It's just more BS. What's the point? When I was a lad,
A wee lad.
A
and
long
that's
time
getting to
ago.
be a long time
I
ago.
know.
It was just common phraseology in every town in the country that, boy, it's hotter up on the road than it is down here.
She's a hot one today.
So you go up on the highway, you had to go to Jerry Ellie's East Shore Grocery, where Jerry always said, hurry back.
Oh, really?
and you bought a popsicle or something, hotter than hell up there. Then you wound your way back down the hill to your house. It was cooler.
You got some shade.
Because your house wasn't on the highway.
Right.
Drives me crazy as I'm over here out in the farm, out in the country, and damn, it's hot. I go over to my mom's place just a few miles away on the lake.
Yeah.
That's nice and
Isn't that
cool
nice?
and breezy.
It was hot
It
back
feels
up on the
good.
road.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible at the
it's
farm.
tough up on the road.
Yeah.
Hurry back
The
now.
lake, it's nice.
Look, we're somehow trying to build, I think we're trying to find racism. I'm not sure. We know that underserved communities.
We're looking for it. We'll find it
we're gonna
somewhere.
Find it. Why are they underserved because they're hot? Underserved communities face more effects of climate change, including heat. Ramsey County Board Chair Trista Martinson said. I am willing to say that Trista Martinson knows no more about the climate than this microphone.
Yeah. And the microphone doesn't know anything
Doesn't
about
know
the
a
climate.
thing.
That's what your point is.
This project will help us identify some of the communities who are most impacted by extreme heat and help us mitigate those impacts. How are you going to mitigate it? You're not. It's hot on the road.
It's hot on the road.
They're going to put heat sensors mounted on cars. So you're going to use cars, which are the object of your disdain, to drive around and take the temperature. And you get a $25 gift card for participating.
So when they find something out, and it's going to be negative, where will blame be placed? Because the reason I ask that is because when you started doing this story, I started traveling northbound via Google Earth up Lyndale Avenue from Broadway. And what I'm seeing is a lot of boulevards with no trees on them. The boulevards all owned by the city of Minneapolis.
Well, perhaps black residents of Minneapolis live along that boulevard because they're forbidden to plant trees.
Well, I'm assuming a lot of them are since I'm over in North Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I'm all the way up to 29th and Lyndale now. And I have yet to see a mature tree on any of these boulevards.
It's all BS. It's just all BS. Okay, you wanted to talk about this. This came up yesterday at the end of the show. Apparently, what we're discovering in local high school graduations, maybe this is true the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings, is that there are endless reports of disruptions.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. I was trying to get your attention, but you didn't see me.
What do you mean
Okay.
disruptions?
We're good. No, yours. That's okay. We're good.
Well, this is Eden Prairie. More than 30 Eden Prairie high school parents and guardians attended a short notice listening session Monday of this week to share feedback about the class of 2024's graduation ceremony. Apparently, it went poorly. Some said they felt unsafe during and after the ceremony. Many said they were unable to hear their students' names read due to excessive noise. When the district learned that many parents and guardians intended to come to the monthly board workshop meeting Monday to share their complaints, they set up a listening session.
Oh, that's nice of them.
I love listening sessions.
What's going on? Now, you have a personal example?
I do. It's a lengthy story, so I didn't know if you wanted to
I
break
don't want the long version.
Okay.
I want an edited version.
I was at a high school graduation 2 Sundays ago
Mhm.
in my
But this,
hometown.
Chris, okay, it wasn't Eden Prairie.
No, but I do know a family that attended the Eden Prairie High School.
Well, let's go with yours first, and then I want to talk about some of the things that happened.
Well, that's what I was
in
wondering
Eden
because we're
Prairie.
already up against it because this is going to be a lengthy discussion.
And
So
yours is Faribault.
yes, correct. But I have
We
other
got time.
firsthand accounts of other high schools in this area, and I also pulled up about 25 news stories just in the last week
Okay.
from the various things going on across the country. This is not just this is a really big problem at high school graduation ceremonies.
All right.
The one that I attended, I was warned by a sibling that said, "Yeah, something might happen. Just so you're prepared." And he flat out predicted it to the point where 2 different groups of people were starting to argue with one another. I don't know if it was about seating arrangements. I have no idea if it was about noise, but there was one group that was clearly trying to be disruptive throughout the entire ceremony, to the point where when that specific group of people were done being inducted, the ceremony hadn't ended. There were still 50 kids that were supposed to be announced. They all got up and left during the ceremony. It was so...
Well, let's stop dancing around it. Just tell me.
It's the Somalians.
All right.
It's at least in my specific case, it was, and I have a decent...
And you witnessed this with your own eyes.
It was 2 rows in front of me, to the point where a Faribault police officer had to come up into the stands. I have a video of it, where a Faribault police officer had to come up into the stands and told this group, you got to calm down or you're all getting removed.
What were they excited about?
They're happy that their beloved is graduating.
Then when did the happiness metamorph into disruption?
Right away, Joe. See, let me talk for Chris for a second. These graduation ceremonies, you're asked to save your applause to the very end because there's so many kids. It takes forever.
And I buy that. I wish people would do that.
But the thing is, this goes far beyond Matthew whistling for his kid. This is so far beyond that. And it's like I said, it's to the point where this one specific group, and I saw it firsthand, so don't email me, that this one specific group left the second, all of them got up and left after the last Somalian kid was introduced at this graduation, to the point where parents are saying, sit down. We're trying to watch our kid get his or her diploma. So it's a disrespectful culture by nature, and it played out right in front of my own eyes. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I saw it firsthand.
So a charitable way to put it would be there was a lack of decorum.
Oh my God. That's putting
it's too charitable. Probably too charitable.
That's a very nice way of putting it. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I told Joe this. There were police at every single exit to try to mitigate anything happening after the ceremony, because that's what they were afraid of. Because I talked to somebody about that very thing. They were just being prepared in case something went down, as we like to say.
In Eden Prairie, at that listening session, they heard about loud celebrations with contraband noisemakers, continuous talking by a large portion of the audience, disruptions and violent fights after the ceremony. That was held June 7th at the University of Minnesota's 3M Arena. And the listening session focused heavily on behavioral issues at the high school, which parents said were reflected in the behavior at graduation. The graduation ceremony began 20 minutes late. It quickly became clear that many attendees were not listening or remaining quiet. From the start to the end of the event, I'm reading from an Eden Prairie News account.
Yeah.
From the start to the end of the event, a large number of adults and younger attendees openly talked throughout the speeches and music performances from the band and choir, making it difficult for others to hear. Additionally, at no time did any of the school district administration ask the crowd to quiet down.
Why not?
When Eden Prairie High School Principal Nate Gibbs began reading names, he did not ask families to remain quiet or refrain from cheering so that each student's name could be heard as they crossed the stage. However, the request was clearly noted in the program and had been displayed earlier on the Jumbotron. While most students' names were met with silence, scattered quiet cheers, or polite applause, some large groups of attendees clustered together, cheered loudly and enthusiastically for their graduates. Some of this applause continued for an extended time, and some attendees also broke venue policy by bringing in contraband noisemakers. It makes it sound like a drug deal. What the hell is a contraband noisemaker?
Those things you spin around that make noise.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of that at
New Year's
the
Eve
one I
things.
attended as well.
Attendees had been explicitly warned they were not to bring in noisemakers, including air horns, per both school district and the Mariucci policy. However, some people brought in air horns, alarm bells, sirens, and other devices capable of making extremely loud noises, despite security officers checking bags for such items at the entrance. At one point, or this is Eden Prairie still, At one point early in the ceremony, a large group set off air horns and confetti cannons when a student's name was read, as well as a loud ringing alarm-style bell. It appeared that they retained these or more duplicate items throughout the event. Other groups throughout the stadium also set off loud noisemakers at regular intervals. Uniformed police came down to confiscate some items, but the groups produced more. Like clowns in a Volkswagen.
Yeah, they're just or pulling the
They
scarf.
just have stuff to use.
And by the way, I experienced that as well. There was security at the one I attended as well, going through bags and purses and whatnot.
An 80-year-old grandmother of a student had been physically drawn into the brawl outside afterwards, accidentally, I take it. Well, yeah, this sounds like it's above and beyond the impolite who cheer when they're not supposed to.
It's way, way beyond that. It goes so far beyond that. And again, it's just a complete lack of respect for anybody else.
This isn't anything new. Like I told you guys last week, my son, when he graduated from trade school at the Minneapolis Convention Center, same thing. And that was 4 years ago. It was absolute mayhem.
Yeah.
Each time a Somali name was introduced or announced.
Is it, boy, I'm really going out on I'm stretching here to find some charitable avenue. Is it because they're so grateful to finally have had a reasonable educational experience as opposed to their homeland?
No, you've nailed this time and time again. You've said it many, many times in the program. It's not, and I know assimilate is a word that's, used by, well, who uses the word assimilate. But that's what they're not doing. They're, how do you say it? They're not.
Some communities are quicker to embrace corruption than others.
No,
Well, that's true.
They're
This is
ignoring
The social
what we do in the,
the social
yeah,
contract.
they're not trying to fit in with us. They're trying to make us fit in with them to dumb it down. But you've said something along those lines for a few years now.
Decline of moral and ethical integrity.
Well, that goes without saying.
But
yeah.
again, it is, and I'm going to be very confident in saying this. It's one specific culture that's at the root of a lot of this, and I'm not trying to say all Somalians behave this way. That's not what I'm trying to say. But at the root of a lot of this, and I'll say it first. Fine, I saw it firsthand.
I'm accepting what you're saying without giving you the we don't know that because you were there.
I was there, and I got a firsthand account from Wyzetta. I know the family that was at this ceremony, and I called them the other day, and they said yesterday they said the same thing. And I have a firsthand account of Lakeville. I can't remember if it's North or South.
Okay, so we sound like a bunch of old biddies.
I know, and I'm trying really hard
cranks.
not to.
No cranks down at the coffee shop. What is being done about this? Why was it allowed to happen in Eden Prairie? Why was it allowed to happen at my son's graduation, at the one you were at in Faribault? Why is this being allowed?
I'll link it to the food fraud.
Please.
All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Here's how I would say if it's happening and it's that disruptive, it's because the white administrators are fearful of being called out as racist if they would expect rules to be enforced.
You mean retaliation?
And I
or?
think a lot of the food fraudsters was, well, isn't this great that these Somalis are taking this action to help feed poor people? Let's not even bother to check on them.
Well, remember years back at one of the haunted acres where it was the Somali kids that were getting into big
Valley
trouble.
Fair. Yeah, the Valley Fair thing.
And
Yep.
somebody called them out, and
It was the guy that ran the Valley Fair scare maze or whatever it's called. He got called out.
but
he was
he was
canceled.
factual.
Right.
He was factual,
Yep.
and
So
they went
then-
after him.
The next question is, do they know that and they're taking advantage of the white liberal guilt? Is that what they're doing?
Yes.
150%.
Well, listen to this. Listen to these attendees, these Eden Prairie parents who attended this listening session with the district authorities. What they discovered is the failed academy. What they asked, well, why didn't anybody from the administration seated on the stage, including the super, 2 associate supers? I mean, there's your problem. You're top heavy in administration. None of you do anything. So they discovered that they're top heavy in administration, none of whom did anything.
No.
Then they wondered, is the graduation atmosphere connected with the school atmosphere? And they wished that a better school environment had been created. Attendees said their anger wasn't just about poor graduation behavior, but about school behavior. They cited stories about disrespectful behavior, fights, swearing, drugs sold in the bathrooms. They also said there needs to be more accountability. Multiple parents said if the district did not come up with a clear and convincing plan to address next year's graduation and behavior, they plan to remove their kids from the district. Attendees wonder why there wasn't better security. Attendees wanted to know how Mariucci Arena's security officers allowed contraband items into the arena. Attendees expressed that they and their family members were highly stressed by the loud noises. They noted that the noise was particularly stressful for special needs attendees. It goes on and on and on. The discussion also addressed the fact that it appeared that the event attendees who were using the contraband noisemakers, including whistles, air horns, confetti cannons, and some that sounded like gunshots or firecrackers, were members of the Somali community. Well, finally, somebody's going to talk about it, huh?
Right.
One attendee said that it was culturally important to the Somali community to celebrate their graduates in this manner. Well, go bleep yourself. You're in the United States now. That's not how we do it.
Well, I would agree with that. I would like to do the same thing. I would love to shout and yell and honk the horn, but they asked me not to, so I don't.
Well, here touches on what I just said. Might that have been so meaningful to them? Many of the students were first-generation graduates, so the ceremony was extremely meaningful to them, and that it was entitled of other community members. It apparently was wrong for them to have been asked to keep quiet. They want to establish their own rules, it sounds like.
But you know what? I've got news for you. There are other people that were maybe first-time generation graduates as well. That doesn't make you freaking special. I'm sorry.
There's a real simple solution to all of this.
Yeah.
If I was in charge.
I said it yesterday. I say no more schools. They don't do any good anyway.
Well, that's
more schools
that's
anywhere.
a bit harsh.
No
That's-
schools. No.
That's a bit of hyperbole, but this graduation thing could be solved quite easily. Graduation in the future, closed to the public. Administrators and students only. Film it. You can watch it at home. You're not getting in the auditorium.
Or else book an amusement park and just have a graduation for the Somali kids and let them go nuts.
Well, that's called segregation.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah,
either.
they probably love it. Well, it's a shame. You heard from Wayzata too, huh?
Yep.
Does Wayzata have a Somali population?
Wayzata also had theirs at the same venue that
Let me ask you a question.
Eden Prairie did.
Are all these people enriched by the food fraud? How in the hell are they affording to live in Wayzata and Lakeville?
Well, that I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, I got news for Eden
I'm
Prairie.
serious
No.
question. Why are there so many Somali students at Wayzata?
I don't know that. I
don't think
know.
that matters.
Joe,
It matters a hell of a lot.
look at
Where's
me.
the money coming from?
Look at me in focus.
No, that's
Joe,
not a.
this
Where's
is-
your money coming
this
from?
is a statewide problem with this specific
This-
culture.
That's not an issue, Joe.
Okay.
But I'm just saying aren't we the largest Somali population in the entire country in this state?
Probably.
I think we are. But what I'm saying is this is not ingrained. What's the word I'm looking for? This is a statewide issue with the schools.
Well, do you mean to tell me the Ely High School graduation? No,
I don't
doubt
know.
it'll be.
I'm saying that
No, but Wilmer, there's communities all Rochester, Faribault.
Mankato.
Yeah.
Well, then what do evil white people do
Austin.
about it without sounding
But that's again
patriarchal?
You keep asking what are the
Exactly.
administrators trying to do? What they're trying to do is A, keep their job, but B, they're just trying to minimize the amount of damage being done. They don't want kids fighting. Unfortunately, in some cases, that was too much to
Well,
prevent.
it doesn't sound like they're even doing that.
But
They're commenting that the principal of the school didn't do a damn thing.
But I do know administrators at the school that I was in attendance to, and I can tell you right now, they mean well. They're just really, really trying hard not to make a giant spectacle out of it, to the point where, and I'm going to guess it was with a lot of these other ones as well, you had to have a ticket just to get in. And they were trying to ration out tickets accordingly.
Oh, really?
Yes. Each kid got 2 tickets, and then you could request more. And that was the only reason why I was allowed to go, is because my niece requested a couple of extra tickets.
Yeah, graduations are now closed in Kenny's world. They're done the last day of the school during the afternoon. That's it.
Just kids and teachers in
It's over.
attendance.
Just, yep.
No parents.
And
nothing.
think how many parents like Kenny and Joe would celebrate that. Oh my God, that'd be so awesome.
I had a kid go through and get his diploma, and he was announced as South Sherry. He was pretty well known on campus.
Huh.
Yeah. He had no clue how to pronounce his name.
South Sherry.
South Sherry.